Today on Drawbli,
Ben is drawing another vacation portrait.
click that subscribe button if you're new around here.
And comment below with ideas of what we can do to improve as artists.
And if you just so happen to be on vacation painting a portrait, maybe share online with the hashtag Drawbli.
Do it. So, this is another from series called Portraits While on Vacation that I painted, or Ben painted. Because
Wow, you dare try to steal the credit for my painting?
I was giving the title of your series.
Wow, I can't believe you would try to do that.
No.
Peasant. Yeah, she had that look about her that just was like, I'm looking down upon you.
She does, and you did an incredible job with this one. I have seen the finished result, and it is quintessential of your style that you have developed, which I don't fully know how to articulate other than it's almost
the peasant style.
It's very much the opposite of mine, where you will have a very messy sketch and then very refined paintwork, whereas I also have a messy sketch, but a lot less refined paintwork.
Wait a minute, hold on. Yeah, so this is another portrait. If you guys haven't seen my last one, where I did the girl that Abby refers to as an Egyptian, which she is not meant to be Egyptian, but a little bit of a New Age Egyptian style. Either way, go check out that video. I'll leave a comment or a link for that down below in the comments. This one was also made on vacation, and I don't know, maybe being in that mindset helped me out a little.
Oh, really? Like just being on vacation helped you create?
I didn't have other things that I had to think about doing later on, where I was like, I have 30 minutes on this painting, and then I have to go and record this and sculpt that, and then I have to do this thing for a student for mentorship, all this other stuff that's just like a checklist item in my brain all the time. Like a hamster on the wheel finally stopped, and I was like, silence.
That's nice. I'm glad you had that.
And now it's back again. The hamster's running, and it's all crazy.
Oh no.
The never-ending cycle. Back from vacation, yeah.
I read a book the whole time.
Yeah, which, what book did you read?
I read the third book of Naomi Novik's series of A Deadly Education. I read the third book called The Golden Enclaves, and it was gripping.
And it was gripping.
Yes.
I'll tell you what's gripping. Gideon the Ninth, which is a book that I am very close to finishing.
Yes.
There are 3 currently out, right?
Yes, I've read the first one, and I have the second 2 on hold in Libby, and I'm waiting patiently because, of course, these are the big books right now that everybody's listening to, so the wait is weeks to months, depending on which library card I use.
Depending on that's the key factor. For some reason, people in Cincinnati, though, don't care about Gideon the Ninth, because I got that instantly.
I guess so, except the wait for the second and third books is the longest at the Cincinnati library.
Okay, so they're already done with the first one. They're like, that's old news. Give me book number 2 and 3.
I guess so. Sometimes the Libby app, though, can take a title and put it out as available regardless of number of copies that they have, theoretically.
That's odd.
It is odd. I think they do it specifically maybe as a promotional with the author. I'm speculating there, but I've seen that occur before, and it's really nice. Like Where the Crawdad Sings was the biggest title for a long time, and I think even now you can still borrow that immediately.
That kind of makes sense. Because didn't a movie come out for that or something?
Oh, it did. Ooh, that'd be cool to get a Gideon the Ninth movie. Necromancers in space exploring a haunted castle.
Lesbian necromancers in space exploring a haunted castle mansion, and it's also a murder mystery.
Yes.
That is the description of the book. Very fun, very good book. But hey, here's my painting. I did some things on it. I don't really have much to say about this one, kind of like the last one. I just kind of got to do my thing. I got to work in my own process. I feel like I said somewhat recently that I really liked about Ahmed Al-Dori's class is that it gives us the experience of trying a lot of different new techniques, but I get to take maybe one small piece of that whole process and throw that into my kit. And that's kind of what the objective is of learning to paint, is you have all these different skills that you're building up, and you have your own process, you have your own A to Z that isn't the same as everybody else's, but every once in a while you get to pick up something new and throw that in the middle of yours.
Yeah, definitely.
That's like what I'm getting to exercise and practice here. The combination of all these different things amalgamating into what I currently have.
Well, what you currently have is working for you. This looks really cool.
It's working. It's finger snaps and a Z.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, I think you should continue on in this vein. You have such a nice way of refining your portraits. And your work, I still have never, I always say that I'm going to start incorporating your technique of painting in a vibrantly colored shape and then dropping the opacity.
That's my thing. You can't steal that.
I mean, I could utilize it, but I just never.
You wouldn't know how.
I literally know how from watching you a million times.
No one could ever figure it out. It's extremely complex. Paints bright red, fades out to like 5% opacity or less. Oh no, my secrets, my techniques.
I think for me, I've actually just recently started using a brush that has a lot of transparency. And that helps me a little bit emulate that technique somewhat.
All right.
I finally downloaded the brushes that come with Ahmed Alduri's course.
Oh, I've not had an opportunity to, even though I was the one who showed you how to get them exported properly, I have yet to reap the benefits of the brushes.
Yeah, I accidentally downloaded them into Photoshop like 10 times over and over again before I realized I'd even done it.
And Abby just looks over at me and she's like, Ben,
help!
And I walk over.
Photoshop savvy.
It's just like 1,000 brushes in Photoshop.
Oops, we fixed it. And now I have them in Procreate, and they're wonderful. I like them a lot. It's always fun to get a new brush pack.
It sounded like you said they're funderful, which is a great hybrid of fun and wonderful.
I like that.
What's so great about these brushes?
I don't know how to... Well...
Haven't used them enough yet?
Yeah, I haven't used enough yet, but I have used them, and I'm already creating just really, really nice art. Because creating nice art is all about the brushes.
Check out the link in the description for our brand new Drawbli brush pack.
No, we don't have one. It's just Ahmed Alduri's one.
We're just Ahmed Alduri with a strike through. Drawbli's brushes.
Drawbli's brushes. Are these mine?
$400.
Oh man. Ooh, the earring. I love the drop shadow on that. So clean. It really creates a centerpiece for this whole portrait.
The earring creates you did when you first saw this say something about the earring, so something about the earring speaks to you, and that's good because I did spend a solid 5 minutes on that earring and much longer on the rest of the portrait.
Yeah. Just goes to show, be careful what details you add to your portrait because they could take all the attention.
Oh man, that's so true. I much like my last vacation portrait, only spent about an hour and a half to. It was definitely under 2 hours, like around there, in terms of working on this. So that just, I feel like, goes to show when something is working really well that everything else just starts kind of clicking into place a lot faster. To where instead of sitting there, and I feel like this a little bit on some recent paintings, where I'm like fighting the painting just to try to get things to work. I feel like if you have that feeling in the early stages, it almost might be worth, reassessing and deciding to maybe move on to something else, or
yeah, definitely,
or start over. I don't know. I personally have never been a proponent of starting over from scratch. I think that there's always progress that you can make if you keep working on something. I think sometimes you might need some fresh eyes, take a step away.
Yeah, go for a walk. We should go for a walk.
We should go for a walk.
You want to go for a walk?
We can go for a walk after this.
It's pretty gray and yucky out there, but you would bundle up. You still got to get your walk in.
You gotta get those steps.
You gotta get your
You gotta get your 10 million steps in a day.
I just want to be outside.
No comment?
What?
Nothing. So yeah, that's my vacation portrait. Like I said, not really anything new in terms of like one big takeaway or anything, but more an amalgamation of who I am as a person.
Who you are as a person, yes. This very much communicates your aloof style as an artist, as a sculptor who has deigned to step into the world of 2D art. You look down upon it, and yet you want to be a part of it.
Much like this woman, I'm sticking my nose up at the 2D art world and saying, peasants.
And yet you wear the earring of that world. You are of that world. You cannot escape it. Yes,
wow. It's truly poetry
it's
here
very deep.
on
It's very
Drawbli.
deep.
Wow,
Yeah.
I didn't know we could get that deep.
We can do whatever we want. This is our channel, and it can be whatever we want it to be. Isn't that so exciting and liberating? Like, we're not locked
And
into
terrifying, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it could be a booktuber channel.
Oh yeah, you did mention that. Any other books you want to mention here at the end before we head out on our beautiful walk in the gray outside?
No, I think recently I've plugged all the three big series that I'm into right now. I'm attempting to read Hyperion, the second book, but that's a lot.
So there
more...
is no, there's no other books, but also
I'm not necessarily plugging it though, because it's old sci-fi, and old sci-fi tends to be a lot more dry and slow, and I definitely don't reach for it because I am like excited to read it. I reach for it because I borrowed it from somebody and I want to read it.
You know that you have to give it back.
I do.
Day.
I in my youth was terrible about borrowing books and not.
In your youth,
them
Abby,
back.
Abby, I have in our relationship seen you go to those take a book, leave a book things multiple times and take books. Yet I have never seen you give back a book.
One time. And have you ever seen me do it from an actual live person? Because that's way worse.
Well, it sounds like I will see that very soon.
It exists.
And if you want to hear us talk more about books, click that subscribe button.
And comment below with ideas of what we can do to improve as artists. And this is the part
where we say
goodbye.
Goomba. Abby is a book thief.
Will you bully birds?
I do not bully birds.
I will talk more about this in our next video.
Or maybe I'm just going to show it right now.
No, it's too late.
Oh,
We're at the
you're
end
right, yeah.
screen.
Oh, okay.
We have to show the next video and the suggested video.
Oh,
and
that's right. There's
you can't
too
show
many
this
things
video.
going on right
Come
now.
in for the next video to
Next
watch
video.
Benjamin bully birds.
Can't wait.